Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-August 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for Aquarius in mid-August 2025? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius, please. Let's get it going. What is the energy? What's the vibe? Yeah, there we go. Nice and quick. I love this one just because of the aesthetic of this card. It is titled Follow Your Own Good Advice. Now, this could be presenting itself for a whole bunch of different reasons, right? Whether it's someone seeking advice from you, or maybe there's a situation you're dealing with where it's like you kind of already know what you need to do. That's like the vibe I'm picking up from this initially. But I feel like there's more here. There's a lot of depth to this card. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about it. So we see this beautiful color palette, and Alice, she's kind of just sitting there. She looks a little shy and bashful, but yeah, this card to me, it could literally just represent advice, whether you're going through a situation. Maybe you need some advice. Maybe you need an outside perspective. If there's something you're going through where you're not sure how to proceed, which way to go, maybe a neutral outside perspective could help. For another portion of you, maybe somebody will be seeking that from you soon, like an advisory type of energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's various things like that coming up. If people like need your advice or expert opinion on something, but again, I already mentioned for a bunch of you, there could be certain things that pop up in this time or things that you're going through where it's like you kind of already know how to handle it. Right now, I do know when we're dealing with certain situations, when we're on the inside looking out, things are totally different, right? Like from the outside looking in, things seem very simple, cut and dry. So for some of you, maybe there's a situation you're dealing with that's a lot more complex than what other people would realize. So watch out for complex situations as well. It's just very nuanced. So we're just going to leave her over there. She could keep figuring it out. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aquarius. What's happening, please? While we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There was a pretty good flow of energy starting to come in. Last week's reading was titled A Massive Win. So whether it's come in or whether it hasn't, there's still time. Energy like that could bleed over for a couple weeks. To me, it just felt like something going in your favor, which I really liked. So wins come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's monetarily, sometimes it's a few great days during the week, sometimes it's partnerships. So hopefully you had one, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's. All right, let's get it going. 3 cards for Aquarius, mid-August, please. What is happening? All right, Knight of Cups, cool. I like it. At least initially, I like it. You can get him tucked in here by the amethyst. Usually that's an energy that's moving at a decent speed. Big water sign energy. Let's get a couple more. Thank you. King of Wands. Okay. Looks like these energies are facing each other down, right? Let's get one more. Knight of Wands. All right, big fire-air combination energy all over the place here. Lots of people, my friends. Lots and lots of people here. So I'm not sure if we're looking at a group thing or these are energies coming your way, but it's a lot. It feels very intense to me. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, elementally, I'd say most of it could vibe with Aquarius, because even though you're the water bearer, you're an air sign, and there's a lot of fire here. Fire and air usually are very complementary. With the King of Wands, the Knight of Wands, fire is the realm of action, passion, drive, determination. Usually it's someone making big moves. So I do like that. The downside to fire is that it could be a little volatile, right? It could be a little explosive. It could be a little wild. It could be a little unpredictable. So that's something we need to watch out for. But Aquarius is usually pretty good at going with the flow. So this doesn't concern me too much. But the fact that there's court card after court card after court card, it's like we have a lot of people showing up. There is water with the Knight of Cups, much softer than all this fiery energy that we have here on the back end. The realm of emotions, feelings, love, creativity. It's just a much softer, fluid type of vibe. But it can play on the emotions. Whereas, like this fiery energy, it just hits you on an instinctual, animalistic level. The water hits you in the heart, if that makes sense. So we're going to have to see how all this plays together, whether these are people or other things. Let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. So, position number one, we're starting with the Knight of Cups. Okay. And I like the Knight of Cups, as with all knights, including this one here on the back end. They represent action and they represent communication. They're messengers as well, very similar to pages in that way. And the way the Knight of Cups moves is just right. Not too fast, not too slow. It's moving at a pretty good pace. So there could be something where Spirit's like, yeah, just let it evolve, let it do what it does, Aquarius, let it naturally go with the flow, which is a nice thing. Now, the Knight of Cups, if we're putting traits on this energy, it's Prince Charming energy. It's someone that's like really good with their words, silky smooth, easy flowing, easy going. We really like this Knight of Cups. Now, of course, this could be some sort of emotional offer, conversation coming in. We do want to look at this much further. But the downside to the Knight of Cups, when he shows up in reverse, it could represent a lack of confidence. This could represent emotional volatility. Sometimes this could be someone that makes you feel bad for them or plays off of emotion, right? I don't want to use the word manipulation, but it's someone that wouldn't put like making you feel bad for them. Like that's not a no-go zone, if I were to say it. So we'll see. I don't want to turn a good card into a challenge, but I just like to give everyone a full view of what these cards could potentially mean. Now, moving to the middle, we have a much more authoritative type of energy. We have the King of Wands himself sitting right there on his throne. Now, kings are different than the knights. Kings represent control of the suit. So all the stuff I was speaking about, fire, the passion, the action, the drive, the unpredictability, all that stuff, the King of Wands is trying to keep that under wraps or control it at the very least. So when I see the King of Wands, if you're not connected to a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag, the King of Wands is like, all right, where do I put my energy? Is this serving me? Am I wasting my energy here? Am I wasting my time there? Could my energy be better put elsewhere? These are a lot of questions the King of Wands asks himself. It's an entrepreneurial energy. It has a lot of energy to it. So for a lot of you, if you've been a little down lately, the King of Wands is very good for energy levels and vitality. But the downside to him, which I'm sure many of you can already guess, when the King of Wands shows up in reverse, it's someone that can lose control. This is someone that can spin out of hand. This can most definitely become a warning depending on what the card underneath is, right? Because when the King of Wands loses his grip on where this energy is going, it could be very explosive, it could be very unpredictable and wild. So we do want to look at that. And there is a bit of a wild energy here, Aquarius. So you might be a little bit more of a daredevil than you normally are. Because as we move to the back end, we have the Knight of Wands. And this is like King of Wands Jr. right here. Okay. So again, big fire sign vibes, action, double action with him since he's the Knight of Wands, and communication. So there is a lot of chatter, yip yap talk, a lot of mouths flapping when I see this spread here. So whether this is energy coming your way, whether it is a group dynamic. Now the Knight of Wands is going somewhere and he's going there fast, hot and heavy. There are no breaks. This is like all gas, no brakes. So whether this is someone that's like wound up, wound tight, they know what they want and they're going to get it, or this could be a complete firecracker, wild child type of energy where it's like, okay, I didn't see that one coming. Like the energy could potentially be a little too wild, depending. So we just have to look. It's been something that I've been seeing in the air signs for a couple weeks now, but I want to dive deeper on all of it. Aquarius, let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot because, as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Knight of Cups to start. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's get it going here. Why is the Knight of Cups in the mix? Please. Thank you. Smooth talker. Smooth talker. This is a very apologetic type of energy. I see the Seven of Wands in reverse underneath this Knight of Cups. This is somebody that could talk the bark off a tree potentially. The way this person potentially uses their words is extremely disarming here. It's an energy that could really put you at ease, which could be a good thing for some of you, but don't be surprised if a figure like this is prominent in this time. Now, I will also say, if we are speaking about a talk or a conversation of some kind, it could definitely be of the emotional variety, like an emotional offer or an emotional talk. But when I see the Seven of Wands in reverse, it's like, ooh, I want to say something, but I don't want to piss this person off. It's someone, I would say, in its positive sense, it's someone that's very disarming and potentially apologetic. Like, hey, sorry about that. I was a little too aggressive here. I apologize. So for some of you, it might be an apology of some sort or a mending of the bridge coming in, which is good. But I also get this energy that's trying to disarm somebody as well, where it's like, or walking on eggshells. I would say worst case scenario, it's someone that's like, oh, I don't want to make them mad. I don't want to piss them off. So it's like an energy that's tiptoeing around something. So just something to be aware of. Like this could be a person, this could be a situation. There is a lot of talking going on. So I feel like a lot of this spread does have to deal with communication, various communications that could be coming your way, or people that are coming your way. I would say don't be surprised if your phone's blowing up more so than it normally does. But we're going to keep moving. I don't feel like we need to dissect that anymore. The energy just feels very apologetic or very smooth or just non combative, if that makes sense. But let's go in on the Knight of Wands. We'll see what he has. Or the King of Wands, pardon me. We'll get over to the Knight in due time. So, why is the King of Wands here for my Aquarius friends? Please. Guys, thank you. Totally different. Totally different. Hopefully, this isn't somebody switching up. I really hope that's not the case because I have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Like this energy is my way or the highway. Whereas like this energy on the front end, very disarming, very calm. Like, oh no, yeah, we're going to work together. We're going to make things happen. It's just very apologetic. And then when I see the King of Wands with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, no, we're going to do it my way. What I say goes. It's like extremely controlling. This could be a warning for sure of someone potentially switching up or a situation just getting a little out of hand. Because remember, with the Knight of Wands or the King of Wands, I keep calling them the Knight, so maybe this person does have some immature traits to them. But the King of Wands is supposed to have a handle on things, right? He's supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to know where to direct his energy. When I see the Three of Pentacles in reverse underneath it, either it's a very selfish energy or it's an energy that has just completely lost the plot, where like things are just going wild. It's like dominoes are falling. It's like when you lose control of one thing, then this starts going to crap, then this starts going to crap. It's like a cascade of stuff. So this energy is a little out of hand, believe it or not. That's just how this energy shows up to me. We'll see what's up when we get to the Night, but the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Just watch out for getting pulled into other people's stuff too. I saw that for another zodiac sign this week. So there could be a potential where people are trying to pull you into their stuff. But this energy is totally different here. Hopefully, this isn't the same person. Hopefully, it isn't because this one, they're totally opposite. This one is very disarming, very like, oh no, I don't want to make anyone mad. I'm sorry. And this one is like, screw that. I don't care what you think or feel. I'm going to do what the hell I want. It's like giving me that kind of energy. So let's move in on the Knight of Wands. Super aggressive. Super aggressive. Okay. Let's see what the Knight of Wands has, and we'll do our recap before we get into the shadow. So, why is the Knight of Wands here, please? Thank you. Oof. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple of warnings here because this energy, it's like a bully. Like the energy I'm picking up on the back end here is somewhat like a bully, my friends. Now we have the Lovers in reverse underneath this Knight of Wands. This is an energy that it is like dead set. Now again, if you're a determined person and you have something that you want to accomplish or something you want to do, as long as you're not walking all over people, have fun. do what you got to do, as long as you're not hurting others. But when I see the Knight of Wands with the Lovers in reverse, either one with the fire air combo, it is an explosive talk or message when that gets out of hand, which makes sense with the stuff we're seeing here in the front and all the people and all the talking and all the dynamics. Could be something that gets a little wild. So there could be conversations or messages that are, they just spin at hand. Remember, I was saying here in the center, it's like a cascade. But when I see the Knight of Wands with the Lovers in reverse, if you're not having issues with a fire sign, this could be someone that says, I don't care about what they think. I don't care what they feel. I will do what I want. And that's what it is. And very similar to this King of Wands. So when you get multiple energies in this state, even though we have this energy in the front that's a bit of a peacekeeper, these are going to go head to head, right? Because they're both very similar, right? That's just how then it's like we're bumping heads because we're very similar in the way we approach things. Now, the Lovers, yeah, big Gemini energy. If this came in the upright, then I would say, yeah, maybe both of these energies together could disarm this one. But the fact that it's in reverse, it's like, no, screw that. I'm going to do what I want. And it does feel like someone that will pressure things and have their way. That's how it feels. It's like, I will have my way. I don't care if you're the King of Wands. I will have what I want. Um, Again, as long as they're not hurting nobody, but the energy just feels super wild to me. So I'm not sure if this could potentially be things that just bubble up to the surface. Maybe it's not planned. Maybe it's somebody that's like, you know what, I'm tired of getting pushed around type of energy. Like it just feels like it, I don't want to say snaps, but it's like a cascade. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. Very complex reading this week. A lot of moving parts, and believe it or not, I'm not seeing much Aquarius cards here. So to me, I feel like this could be a lot of the people around you, if anything. But position number one, we start here with the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Wands in reverse. The energy does feel very disarming. It feels very peaceful. It feels like trustworthy. It's an energy that feels like it's not trying to anger anyone. It could be a potential apology. Um, or it could be someone that's walking on eggshells because they don't want to set this off, whatever it is. But we move to the center. We have the King of Wands with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, where it's like, you know what? I don't care what's good for the group. I care what's good for me. And I'm going to do what I like. And it's like, and if you don't like it, you know where you could go. It's giving me that kind of energy. For another portion of you, this could be someone where their viewpoint, the way they do things, is going to cause a cascade. Like this energy is so volatile, it's so wild that their actions start affecting other things that normally it wouldn't. Moving to the back end, we have the Knight of Wands with the Lovers in reverse. Either this is an explosive talk, which is to be expected when we have these clashing energies, explosive talk, explosive message, or it's someone that's very similar to this king, where it's almost even a bully. So there's like this warning of like confrontation, and these energies are so similar that they're bound to butt heads. That's just how it feels to me. Try your best not to get pulled into other people's stuff for sure. But please take a screenshot. I know that got hyper specific. Only take what hits. And remember, you could check your other alignments and stuff like that. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Aquarius, please? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Aquarius in the shadows, please? Thank you. Nine of Swords. Okay, make sure you're getting proper rest and sleep. Some of you might be having some really interesting, vivid dreams in this time, so watch your dreams when the Nine of Swords shows up in the shadows, because it is one of my cards of the dream state and paranormal. But it is also a stressed out type of card. And with all this like funky group dynamic stuff, I don't feel a lot of stress for the Aquarius collective coming from the inside. To me, it comes from the external. Okay, so whether it is family, friends, coworkers, when I see the Nine of Swords, it's like, this energy, it's like making me very frazzled. Even reading it, it's making me very frazzled. And yeah, the Nine of Swords, it's having a rough time sleeping, and it's just really on edge, which would make sense with this energy we had here on the front end. So I would say watch out for that. Watch out for anxiety, nervousness, stuff like that. And try your best. If you do have an abundance of energy within you, find a way to get it out, whether it's through creative things or physical activity. So we're just going to leave it at that, Aquarius. Interesting reading this week. That's what I have for you. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The calendar for August is up, so you could go check out the availability over there. But for the August subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the classic Gilded Tarot Royale. It's beautiful, and it's definitely one of my go-to decks. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, we have a very easy question this month. Out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one is your favorite? Is it the one that attaches to your zodiac sign? Is it one where you just like the art? You can put that answer down in the comments and you will be entered to win, my friends. And as usual, the winners will be announced in the community tab at the end of the month. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.